How's this? Is this better? No sound. I can't believe there's no sound. That was crazy. I'm glad my mom pointed out to me that there was no sound. I got so caught up in trying to fix that lighting issue that I forgot to turn the sound on. But back to what I was saying when you couldn't hear me. You know what's really funny is I didn't cough or anything the whole time. You couldn't hear me, and now it's all I want to do. But I have to get all the cameras back where they're supposed to be. Hopefully the sound is working now. Anyway, what I was saying was that these little critters, these little otters, are found on every continent except Australia and Antarctica. And the fact that they're not on Antarctica is funny to me because Antarctica literally means no bears, and these are in the same class as bears as carnivora. And so it's funny to me that, funny in a curious way, funny ha, not funny ha ha. Thanks, Dad. Funny in a curious way, not funny ha ha. But every continent but Australia and Antarctica has otters. Now, I don't know if this is a river otter or if this is supposed to be a sea otter or a marine otter. And there are subtle differences between them. It just says otter. And so I don't know what kind of otter it's supposed to be. But I'm going with river otter. That is by far the most common otter out there. And even the sea otters are really just river otters that have adapted to life on the seashore in Chile, in South America. The fun part about doing stuff like this is differentiating between what makes it look like it's obviously an otter versus what makes it look like it's a rat, or how do you make it look like what you're drawing? How do you make it look like what you intend it to be? Versus the other animals that it's similar to. And it's the subtle features like the brow being a certain width, the ears being a certain style, the nose. And it's the width of the eyes. That's the stuff that if you don't get right, it doesn't look like an otter, it looks like a large rat. Or a wessel, a weasel. Or a ferret. But it's easy for it to look like those things because they're all in the same family. They are all mustids. Skunks, stoats, weasels, ferrets, all the long-bodied little predators are in the same family of mustids. Can't talk, Arting. But they are, I mean, they have such wide variety too. They have webbed feet for swimming, but the amount of webbing they have changes based on the type of otter they are. Like I said, they are very diverse. They're everywhere, and so they're a very diverse crowd. Sea otters, marine otters, river otters, very diverse group of animals. Very good hunters. River otters hunt fish, mostly. Sea and marine otters typically go in for crabs, shrimp, sea urchins, things they can catch because the ocean is vast and big, and it's a whole lot easier to catch the slow things on the bottom of the water than it is to catch the fast things moving through the water. They have those little eyelids that they have that second set of eyelids that close and shut the water out of their eyes. And all the cool facts that I learned about them yesterday. I have to admit, I didn't really learn much yesterday because I watched a movie called Ring of Bright Water when I was younger. What? And that movie follows a guy in London who buys an otter from a pet store in the 60s and moves out to Scotland to raise his pet otter. And in doing so, we get to see all of the attributes. We get to see that the otter is smart and loves to play and enjoys family time. We get to see all of the traits that they talk about with otters. Some otters are very family oriented and have huge pods. Some otters are very isolated, more like badgers than otters. It just depends on where they are and the availability of food that they have adapted to. Don't go watch Ring of Bright Water. It is sad. It is a very good movie. Apparently based on a book. My mom's in the chat saying, that's such a good movie. It is such a very good movie. Apparently based on a book that I have not read. It's a true story. And so it is something that I think I would like to read. I would enjoy reading. I just have not read it yet. There's more to the story. They actually end up raising the offspring of Midge is the main character. And they find out that Midge got away and made it. And they end up raising some of Midge's offspring. Which is supposed to somehow make us feel better. I don't want to give too much of the movie away, but it's from the same people who made Born Free. Born free as the wind blows. But anyway, back to our otters. River otters eat fish. That's why river otters' main staple in their diet is fish. And that is why I decided that this must be a river otter. Because he's eating a fish. He's holding a fish. He is holding that fish. We looked at that fish yesterday. My kids and I looked at that fish yesterday and decided the way he's holding it and the expression on his face kind of looks like it's his emotional support fish. Alright, I'm going to add the drop shadow while the body dries a little. They have the ability to mate and not and hold on to the females can hold on to the sperm for a whole year and not get pregnant until summer is back, so that they can give birth under ideal conditions when there is food available. They have pockets under their armpits, not pockets like kangaroo pockets, but pockets like folds of skin where they have figured out how they can tuck a rock. So they will carry a rock with them to break stuff open. Sea otters have an emotional support rock. They carry that rock with them everywhere they go. River otters don't typically carry a rock, don't typically have a favorite rock because they don't have to break open shellfish. But the sea otters do. And sea otters The difference between sea otters and marine otters can drink salt water. Sea otters are river otters that have adapted to living on the coast, and they swim out to sea. But they only get about 300 feet out to sea off the coast. I don't remember if it's feet or meters. It might have been meters. It's not far. They don't go very far off the coast. Because, you know, they have to come back. They have to have fresh water to drink. They have to raise their young where it's dry. Marine otters, on the other hand, have completely adapted to life at sea. They swim way out to sea, and they can drink salt water. They have a special gland that allows them to work the salt out of their system. So they don't dehydrate like we would. We would just dehydrate if we tried to drink salt water. The salt would dehydrate us because we don't have any way to remove it. But they do. They have a way of removing the salt water from it. So sea otters are really just river otters adapted to life on the shoreline. His little nose is almost black. Who are their adversaries? Man, they don't really have any natural predators, because where they are the top animal. My mom's in the chat asking who are their natural adversaries. They don't really have any natural predators because, like, badgers are mustids. So the way they hunt, they're very vicious killers. The way they hunt and their boldness frightens most other predators. So they don't have any really natural predators. They are struggling because of loss of habitat, and a lot of farmers think of them as pests because they'll come up and kill your chickens. They'll come up and kill your dog. So a lot of farmers consider them pests. And so their main struggle is loss of habitat and humanity killing them off. The cap of my water rush just fell on the floor. Hang on just a minute. Let's dry this real quick. That way we can ink it. How we doing on time? Oh, it's 5:55. They're also hunted for their coats. Differences between there's some differences between the different mustids, like the badger, the mink, the stoat, the otter, have some subtle differences in their coats, where otters have very thick fur that insulates them. And if you are a frontiersman trying to survive the cold, this is something that would keep you dry and warm at the same time. And so they were highly coveted, and they were hunted in most of the United States, and in Europe they were hunted to near extinction. There are several programs to repopulate, and they've been very successful repopulating. Obviously nowhere near the numbers they were prior to their overhunting. But these adaptations that they have are highly coveted. The thick fur that's both waterproof and warm. They're hunted for food. Their habitat is, river otters' habitat is up and down the coast of United States and Canada, and then all down the middle waterway, down the Mississippi Valley and out towards the ocean. And then the ones that have adapted to life on the ocean, the marine otters, are mostly in Alaska, and the sea otters are mostly in South America, along the coast of Chile. But then there's different types of otters throughout South America. There's the giant otters that compete with jaguars and wolves.